PlayStation will no longer port their single-player games to PC for real. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to tell you the entire story in the first sentence. So the episode's over. We're done.
No, Bruce, it's YouTube. We got to keep talking, and talk we will. I don't know. There's a little more going on to this story. A little bit. It's mostly just going to be talking about the strategies and the whys and the whats and why nows and all that stuff. But yeah, there's I don't know, Bruce, what we got a little more shreds to this story. What are they?
Yeah, that's right. The news comes from gaming gumshoe Jason Schreier, who dropped the hot scoop in a blue skeet yesterday.
Yes, according to Schreier, quote, PlayStation Studio Business CEO Herman Hulst told staff in a town hall Monday morning that the company's narrative single-player games will now be PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, dang it. Schreier adds that this unsourced comment totally confirms his also unsourced story from back in March, which said the same thing. Now, we're not hating here. We just think it's funny. It would be beyond silly to really make any of this up. So he was on the nose.
Yeah, I really can't imagine somebody making up something like this or even misreporting something like this. It's just the nature of the reporting is a little out there. Anyway, but just to remind you, it's not all games, all right? PlayStation reportedly still plans to bring multiplayer and service games to the PC, and usually on the same day and date. Yeah,
like games like Helldivers 2, Marathon, the upcoming Marvel TOCON. It's the single-player games that will now stay exclusive to PlayStation. Saros, Ghost of Yote, Wolverine, and Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
Yeah, I saw a lot of lamentation that Saros was going to be staying on PlayStation console. Yeah, I understand it as well. But now to the burning question here. Why would PlayStation do this to us, people who play on PC? We're going to psychoanalyze a video game company, one of our favorite activities, right after this.
Inside Games is brought to you by Eneba, your ultimate gaming marketplace. They've got over 40,000 digital products, mobile games, an excellent Trustpilot score, and the hottest deals for gamers of all ages and playstyles. Eneba.com offers a vast selection of products across all sorts of platforms: PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. And they've got digital game keys, gift cards, in-game currencies, software, and it's all available at generally great prices. A great example is Forza Horizon 6. Normally it's $70, but on Eneba, you can actually get it for $54.18. A banger of a game, Batman Arkham Origins on Steam, you're going to get for $1.22. You can buy Skyrim on Steam for the 11 billionth time at $11.46. Hitman World of Assassination is a steal at $43.93 on Steam. And a game that both Lawrence and I recommend, Far Far West, is $15.71. Eneba runs the gamut on all of those different platforms. You can find pretty much anything you're looking for on the website. And they offer 24/7 live support, so they can resolve any of your concerns regarding all the purchases. I've been using Eneba for years. I bought many times on the website, and it is really fantastic. It's super quick. They send the key over right away if you're buying a digital key. And I've never had an issue, but if you do, they've got that 24/7 live support. So click our link in the description or use the discount code INSIDEGAMES on Eneba.com to get a discount, to tell them that we sent you to Eneba, and to support us, Inside Games. Thank you very much for the support, Eneba, as always. All right, back to the burning question. Why would PlayStation pull back from their PC ports? Lawrence, answer the question right now. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, we got theories. We can armchair CEO this a little bit. Shocker, most of them have to do with money. So the one that we bring up a lot is that a user on a PlayStation console is more valuable to Sony or PlayStation than a user playing a PlayStation game on a PC. If they're on a PlayStation console, you can get them. You can get them a couple of different ways. You get your PlayStation Store cut. You get 30% of everything they buy through your store versus through Valve's store. And then you also get them for that PlayStation Network subscription, which incidentally, they just raised the price on for new accounts just in time for GTA 6. So, you know, every quarter, their revenues are crazy good off of their PlayStation Store revenues and also PlayStation Network revenues. So that's two lines of business that they don't get on you if they just sell you one game on PC.
Right. So this all makes sense that they'd want to leverage the prestige, right, of their single player games, the ones that always get 10 out of 10s, to get more users into their system, their ecosystem. They don't want people across all ecosystems because they can't charge them for all the different things. They want them inside, just like the Apple ecosystem.
There's definitely a logic to the idea that a person who's buying a PlayStation game on PC would never be a PlayStation user. So this is like, it's not like it's the same user that they could monetize more effectively. It's an additional user that they wouldn't have. I get that, but you know, they're the ones who have the data and they're the ones who are making the decisions. So I don't know. From my perspective, it certainly seems that way, and it seems like a lot of companies are getting on board with that. Really, Nintendo is, I guess, the last holdout, and they're making it work too. So they're making plenty of money with their strategies.
All right, so then continue to answer the question, why now are they getting rid of these single-player games on PC? Well, the rollout on PC when they were putting out those single-player games on like Steam and things like that was very mixed. Ports varied in quality. Users balked at the PlayStation Network sign-in requirements for Helldivers 2, and they eventually rolled that back, if you remember, because a bunch of people whined about it. And they were like, never mind. So now they're just going to say, you know what? Screw you.
Yeah, maybe. PC is kind of a more aggravating platform. It's more varied. Its users can be more demanding. They're not as pliable maybe as console users, and I think the PlayStation Network requirement was one of those aspects. So it's possible that that's one factor. They tried it, and then maybe they found that the sales wasn't worth the headache, which is kind of the next thing we're getting to. Yeah, it is possible, and this one's hard to triangulate as well, but it is possible that PlayStation's PC ports didn't sell very well in the end, or at least not well enough to offset what they saw as a loss in exclusive value, or maybe the headache of trying to cater to more discriminating gamers.
This is really challenging to interrogate, since PlayStation really never reports their revenue broken down by platform. So this is all kind of a circumstantial thing for each individual game that we sort of like can measure, we can check on to see like, oh, God of War sold a lot, but then Horizon didn't sell. Who knows?
Yeah, this is all fairly anecdotal. I remember Spider-Man 1 and God of War 2018 doing crazy well when they hit PC, and it seemed like a very bright future for PlayStation's PC ports. But then it seems like interest just sort of went down over time. We get some sales numbers on recent PC releases, so Alinea Analytics actually did all the guesswork for us, with Death Stranding 2 predicting that the PC version had sold 425,000 copies on top of the 1.6 million sales on PlayStation. That would put the PC port at a quarter of the game's total sales, which seems like you'd want, a quarter of your sales. That seems like a really significant portion of sales. So I don't know what's going on there. That seems like a success. But then again, they were probably hoping for more than 2 million total with that game. And that could be just a larger business issue with Death Stranding 2 or those kinds of games trying to find an audience these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks also noticed that God of War Ragnarok had very low player counts on Steam, which is also really interesting too, because I was really excited about getting that on Steam, and I did. But surprisingly, not a lot of other people were.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the PlayStation magic just kind of like wore off. That's not data. That's not qualitative at all. It's not quantitative at all. But yeah, it just seems like a lot of, I think once the novelty wore off, and I think also the port quality kind of went down a little bit. Yeah, and then there's another factor here too, which is that a lot of consoles are turning into PCs, or PCs are turning into consoles. There's a convergence going on there.
And then of course the next Xbox is also going to be a PC. So we're going to have these consoles. We'll have the Steam machine that's coming out supposedly soon. And you can play, PlayStation games in your living room on that Steam machine. And you can do the same on an Xbox with Project Helix, which is meant to be a PC as well. So I think Sony saw where the winds were blowing, and they're like, all right, never mind. We want our living room exclusivity. We want to sell a $600 console to force you to play Wolverine.
Yeah, is Wolverine a $600 game? I guess, I don't know. I already have a PS5. I think a lot of people do. I think post GTA 6, a lot of people will, if they don't already. So that, something just occurred to me though, when you would put it like that, Bruce. It really does mean that they are confident in their single player games, the ones that are coming up. Wolverine has a lot of wind at its back, I think. Positive brand association, cool character, world-class developer. It's one of those, like, all the stars have aligned, but we've seen that not work out before. So they've got that, and then they've got who knows what else. They got Intergalactic from, hitmaker Neil Druckmann. So from what we see, there's a lot of reason to believe that their upcoming single-player slate is going to be pretty strong. I wonder if this means... Do you think that this is a vouch for the creative value of their single-player lineup? Like, the games that they see coming up are so valuable that they're like, oh, we can leverage this, and this is how they're choosing to do it? Or do you think it's more of a reaction to market forces, where, like, their single-player games don't have the prestige on PC that they do on console? Or maybe have even declined in quality, or maybe the gaming audience isn't putting that prestige on them anymore. So maybe they're going back to their old format because it didn't work out this way. I don't know which one of those do you think it is, or do you think it's a combo?
I think what I think you're saying is you're nailing all of the aspects that are they laid out one bullet point, which was we need to keep them in the PlayStation ecosystem because we can make more money on them. And then they used all the things that you just said to justify that, because it is true. They absolutely can bank on their single player games. They're going to get fantastic reviews and everyone's going to talk about how great they are, but you're not going to be able to buy Marvel's Wolverine on PC. They're going to absolutely get FOMO and be like, damn it, you're going to make me pay $600 to play Wolverine? And people will do it. They totally will. I don't know about a lot, but the people that don't have a PS5 at this point, they're going to buy it for Wolverine and for GTA 6. And then once Sony's got them inside that ecosystem, bang, man, you hit them hard with the nickel and diming like I've been talking about for years, because they are nickel and diming. You know, we just talked about raising the price of the PSN, and they're doing it over and over and over. These things, like they've been sued so many times for the monopoly of their digital store. But again, they can make the most money on you once you're inside the ecosystem. So that is for sure the main reason why they're doing this. And I'm kind of glad, thank you, oh merciful Sony, for not taking away our multiplayer games. Because I thought for sure they're going to get rid of those too. So I'm glad it's only the single player games, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that tells you something too. Another kind of weird bolt idea cracked into my head while I was writing over the script. It makes total sense that PlayStation needs as many players as possible in their multiplayer games because that's what they survive on. Whereas in a single player game, all they got to do is sell it to you once and then they're done. They got your money. So they don't care if you keep playing to some extent. Of course, they want to sell you add-on content and stuff like that. But it made a lot of sense when I thought about it from that angle too, because whenever I'm playing a multiplayer game, I always have a nagging feeling like I'm being manipulated into playing the game, whereas a single player game that kind of doesn't care once it has your money, or rather the value transaction's done. It doesn't have to trick you into keep playing. But that's what a multiplayer game needs to do to survive. So that's not always bad, right? It's not always the most insidious thing. If you have fun playing a game and you want to come back and play it more, that's exactly how it ought to work. Yeah, it feels like multiplayer games often, they're not trying to necessarily make me come back because of fun. They're making me come back because of other things. So it's interesting to see the business side of it, where clearly PlayStation sees all this value and prestige that's all front-loaded in their single-player games, and that's why they have to get you right at the front. You're not allowed in unless you have this thing. Whereas multiplayer, they're like, no, we want everyone. Come on in, baby. We'll hit you as hard and as fast as we can to make it easy for you because you have more value in here. Whereas once we have your money, we don't care about you on the other side of things. Yeah,
you're right. They're making money on either side of this in the sense that multiplayer games and multi-platform, and like Lawrence said, you truly are getting fooled into playing more multiplayer games, these live service games. That's what they do. That's how they work. And if you are having fun, then I guess you're having fun. And then if you're doing microtransactions with Sony and you're paying for the fun, well, then they're fine with it. You're fine with it. Everybody's fine with it. And then the single player games, they're going to make their money on their ecosystem. Same deal, right? So they've got to make their money either way on these games. And I saw a lot of posts on Reddit, obviously, but everybody's really upset about it, including me, about the fact that single player games will no longer be on PC. I saw a lot of posts on Reddit. They were like, they'll be back in 5 years. They'll be back to Steam in 5 years. And I actually tend to agree with that. I really do. I do think that this is not going to work for them. I think this is going to be for the next 2 or 3 years of whatever. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Man, who gives a shit? That game I don't care at all about. Now, I know a lot of other people do, but I don't. Marvel's Wolverine, I actually do care about, and I'm very excited for. So I'm glad I have a PS5 for that. But I do think in 3-4 years' time, it's going to be the same deal. They're going to come back and be like, you know what? Never mind. We are putting out Intergalactic, and here it is. And everyone's going to go, wee! So, but it'll be a few years of exclusivity. They'll have done the experiment. They'll find out whether or not they made enough money on their ecosystem or not. And then maybe we'll be right back to Steam.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'd be nice. I tend to think with most games nowadays, there's someone making some version of that thing, even if the main rights holder or original creator isn't really doing it anymore. But yeah, for those types of games on PC, I guess you have 007 First Light coming up. But that sort of like third-person, premium prestige, single-player narrative game, those are really expensive to make. And there aren't a whole lot of competitors trying to make games like that. So it is a bit of a loss, I think, with PlayStation pulling their library back. So yeah, now we just have to hunker down and wait the 5 years for all the. We can catch the third remaster of Intergalactic, and that one's going to be the one that comes to PC. So can't wait. It's going to have the full director's cut, extra long soundtrack, 25-minute emo songs as you're flying through space. Yes.
Wow, I can't wait. PlayStation, it was fun while it lasted. You know what? I did enjoy playing your single-player games on PC. And luckily, we haven't had to say that about this show just yet. We're not putting it only on the Sony ecosystem. And that's thanks to your support. That's because you guys are watching. We're able to keep it on YouTube. So thank you very much for watching Inside Games. Consider subscribing to the channel, maybe recommending us to a friend who also likes video game news. We are a brave source of drama-free games reporting, or at least we try to be. And we also have a Patreon that you can support. It's a meme dumping ground for Lawrence at this point, so he just throws memes on it every day. And also, we post every video there for free as well on the Patreon. Some folks actually support us directly, even though these beans are free, which is surprising. So thank you, DJ Kento, Jesse Russo, Jacob Croyle, Keto White, and Shaky Pants for giving us your money, even though you get to see some off-brand emo meme from Lawrence every day.
I think I'm going to go with the PS3 has no games meme today. Those are classics. Something from the vault, from the cellar. Fine vintage.